Can you all please be seated for just 1 second? So from New York University, in addition to, here's a formal letter of invitation for September 18th. I'm going to put it in your hand. Also, as you all know, I'm very passionate about ties. And so Ferragamo, I think I don't know anything about fashion, but Ferragamo is one of the big fashion houses, and they make NYU's official tie. And so we're going to give the official NYU tie to His Excellency. And also we have something for his wife, okay?
His Excellency, Nana Addo Kofi Addo, America, Brichimamu, and Uhuno de Ercosono.
You should come more often.
But in Sempi, no Atuja, by the name interview be an escape and Kakra. You are in Ghana for when we be in Como, Special Prosecutor's Office, and the questions are Mubisai. After your wedding, Como, you know, you be play back. The Nana Addo Kofi Addo yenibi at the show, and so this is live from the United States of America, and the Mao live Kofi TV. So you better that's Brand TV for I say Womanda Roma and Omo Prompte say the Ekoso and so live on Kofi TV now. Nana Addo Kofi Addo akasewie. Na enche yene Ghana for hobi bedin komo na fe yasan ama a playback of nsema hodo a wode atudwa no ebi. And in Jomampani we just what you are watching is live from the United States of America. Na Nana Addo Kofi Addo eje hacks ahodo na ochacha enche yene Ghana for when we bedin komo na fe yebisa womo mahu anafi ajema okofrobo wona hunu se okura selfish sick begina joint wona okay anafi hu very clear me name se me hwe mo hwe se me hunu wo mo adwane kwani bia America for the yenuanu mo adwane ko hodo so pa. And so this is live, said the from the United States of America. And China, Ghana, for anybody in Como, I can't get to see reporters are warm or now for Yaji warm drain and someone another two. In himself, about to a course, you know, Nagana for Manane, any idiot cheap, and into a band say, no, baby, no, I want some camp or share. The last question will be say, and I say, Ghana Airways say good, no. Nipa bi wo ho ano mo yedwuma wo musika bi akam breben wo mon sabeka ana nanado se da bi we de maintain ho menim ho hwe. Another question, Special Prosecutor's Office ebibisa se ogidie ye se ebeye very objective wo mbetumi ayo mo adwuma no abra amanyosem emmamu ana eno nso yade a eba app yebehwe na fe yamao sede osi editu dwane ne anu yi ahodo a wode ema ye enso ebi enti egu so live wo Kofi TV sede me kan na nchekra ye be crossover na fe ye ne ye reporters a ewo grounds ho ne bi edi enkomo na Ghana for ho no menim se na bebre na questions ana on pese o mu bisa no. But unfortunately, and to
Victor
me,
Victor Lawrence, if you're here, please come up here.
Victor Lawrence and your friend. And Chebeko and see do that con reporters
no their phone over here.
Phone idea, my family. Yes, there will be a drop on the phone. Pictures and idea, so man for and Enche. Yabeko akoshe how Ghana for Hono, AJ. What were some of their questions? Nanko Peso Mubisa. I am more very short time to ask just some few questions. Chamber of Commerce, any Ebisa question, and then just some few Ghanaians. And into Yebeshe Nafe Yako Prince Osebonsu is also on standby. Ononsia reporter Obama from the other side said Ghana for Hono Ehuno ACFI. And then once again said we shall give you what exactly Nanado say Monsieur Kan or say Nanado Kai or America Enchakra the Bama a playback of it. But that will be after any reporter say Hono Eddie Enkomo Erie Nafe Yaba Abema 100 year course of potting. Okay, and into Sabri Ebeko to fast straight away. Now, your papa say, the reporters are over there. More Eddie and Como. I said it. Womo Niamano esi Ekoye Ede Emma Womo Nafe. And Sembia or Hobiano, Yanegana for when he be etchimi Eddie and Como. And into straight away, and I see a do darko, and Yabedi kind Akonoho, Nafe, Wanegana for an or more inside on the bedding come. Nana Otianka, Yamakaba. Nana Yamakaba. Say Bibia baby. Say Bibia baby. Me wo ni papa na mi bi na be some quick na after no so papa mo ntino e be tini ka ka sa I mean camera no I mean, yeah, also Nade and Chrekakra. Openi, I won't say, Nova, I don't know so. I ever said, there was sound. I saw at the meeting so far, I should say. I have Ajambiano, Nanado Eba, ye, fear, Posumi, Numunia, never know where in Shisha there, and then some of the Atopono Hanuma, saying, and also, what do you understand? Several Brokano. From some of kind, I think, sir, you were GDP, sir, as Ghana government, especially in terms of judicial service or Kamuka, sir, first set up special we are taking care of. And secondly, so your car about ports. I'm a shipper no more Ghana, or car about ports, you know. Still taking measures, so the bay are do care. For change. Usually, those measures now, why so real money, Juma. Staying a more person, more
What dream no more person aban no a year for a airport share.
Shani standing Kaya Serbia Sikasem and far obedience them. The Benya system of so-called online crop payment. And not so-called you know, you don't put the money in anybody's side. It goes direct to the system and then they issue a receipt for you to go and collect your stuff.
That's Kofi. Papa, I'm saying, or yeah, pot what you mentioned, no. Did you? I don't know. Yes, I want Mr. CNN and so on. You must say CNN and say, and also a then another buyer, then also what and another and then send baby okay. Mr. CNN, Robert, my FM, so a send another buyer, and also what you found.
As a man, I can say free education. I was saying in Libya school is very, very important. Next year, I'll school for quality education. And I feel so now, I stay healthcare through national insurance now. Also, and I think free healthcare. Very, very important. Through medium, I'll be channel. And I'll be first Friday. And healthcare, it's the first now be now, I'm in my pasta. It's quality healthcare, free education. And I do Obama before Ghana. I face the economy. It's the year no my former Ghana Chamber of Commerce, USA, the airbar. We put in about 500 Ghanaian and Omo business. Oh, Kroma, I have Ghana. You may invest in our country. Watch out. Big things.
Network ewo hono sheda MYN papa say yebetumi assign enya no na fe yene no edi enkomo no. The network is bad from his end. I think say crowd no edoso can ho bi na ama abanasa yebe say okay oguso ne Ghana fo ni bi edi enkomo. Okay.
Oh, you crew. But no crew, she be a same, you know. My baby, my image for the Ghana. Now, corruption, no doors of the door. We be crying. Never and see a press, it will be back. Oh, yeah, young chin tomb. No cry, no need you. I feel so dear, because I do a citizenship for no. Yama, my hands. Maybe me.
Yo, I just saw your man now. I see the bro, so I didn't try. Kofi, I said, any of them about animal. I judge our animal. I judge Addo some more kindness. And I'll cover. And the many actually was someone like to Ghana. Nana, be in a mamu out the Magana for a 2 night day enemy. That's to actually America. Ghana for what that's the individuals free other institutions in other countries. Witness it, Ghana for Bishia. And sell your so I'm not for the stand and some Ghana for you now. It is something for say a bit about special prosecutor. How independent is going to be. What you mama for what you say. I will share Ghana Association of Engineers and Architects. Almost questions of them.
Ghana, I say Ghana network, but one day I don't say my challenge. Your network is okay, but then if you just joined us, Addo Danko Kufuado, America. Maybe I want a network, no. Over to me, a PR. I say, my name say crowd and in here. Network, no. You just see, and in that, we will come back to you. Say network, no. A stable. You be saying about how now if you ever share Ghana for a war no and some no. Said ye were more AC fire. His first visit to the US and Yakoko Shabi, no. Ebiana or joining enche Yabemao a full playback of Nanado Danko Kufuado and in Shemwa one Ghana the share war America war more Asia and Sama what they throw war more anim. My home messages no was he online transaction is what we need, nothing else. Na kabu ena ode enobaye sanso ena what's it, Kofi? Do you have an idea if Nana is coming to London anytime soon? Yes, but I don't know the exact date. And into we shall keep an eye on that as well. I say, I like the way you work. Oh, okay. That's it. Honorable Augustine Osei Evans. Abaye. Yabo modern say you bet to me assign a playback of Nanado Danko Kufuado in Shemwa. One Ghana the share more America na and some of the two Ghana there a dozen p and into say you bet to me aside nina amount na wait to me ashe nina and somewhere His Excellency a two Ghana Sabre yababa modern afe yama onsa atumi akabi na questions ahodoa for beside answer. Okay. So, sir, we will give you this, but before then, okay. Yeah, try a playback of town hall meeting. Our company and Ghana the share more America. Share and check na and some hold the two jano yet to me etie said it was see a cano na aboy ama yeho and some no said they sit but before then just one or two speakers we ekasai and sana nanado danko kufado ebekasa and inti yebetie woman sama hodwa woman the two jana ebi.
Honorable Otiko Afisa Jaba, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. We also have the Honorable Deputy Minister for the Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Honorable Patricia Piaget. Nana Bejetu Asante, Secretary to the President, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Asenso, and the other members of the President's delegation. Mr. President, since this is your first visit as President of the Republic to New York, I wish to use this opportunity to warmly congratulate you on your election on behalf of the mission and the Ghanaian community. We are especially thrilled and grateful that you made time to interact with the community and the African diaspora in New York, in the tri-state area, and I believe far afield, many of whom have demonstrated their commitment to Mother Ghana. At a rather personal level, I must say that it is my singular honor and pleasure to welcome you as President, having had the privilege of working closely with you in your previous incarnation as Minister for Foreign Affairs during the term of former President John Agyekum Kufuor. Before I proceed any further, allow me to say a big thank you to the management and board of the Africa House, and especially to its director and Dr. Yao Nyako for the kind cooperation we have enjoyed and the excellent facilities that you have placed at our disposal. Our thanks also go to the management of the NYU Kimmel Center and to Dr. Sibel Raver, the NYU Senior Vice Provost, who has so warmly welcomed us to this campus. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana Permanent Mission and Consulate General in New York has in the past few years sought to enhance the level of engagement with the Ghanaian diaspora with a view to advancing one of Ghana's key foreign policy objectives, that is the promotion of the welfare of Ghanaians abroad. This engagement has gone beyond purely welfare matters to active engagement with Ghanaian professional groups, religious associations and groups, businesses and enterprises. We recognize the presence of a dynamic and enterprising Ghanaian diaspora in the tri-state area, as well as the great potential that New York offers as an international financial and business hub, which must be tapped into. Several events have been organized in this regard, and since January this year, the mission has hosted a number of meetings with the Ghanaian business community to explore deeper engagement and enhanced cooperation. We believe that we have a unique opportunity to develop organic and viable business partnerships that can contribute to meeting Ghana's development targets in key sectors of our economy. And so in effect, this evening's town hall meeting is a continuation of the positive engagement and collaboration we have enjoyed in that regard. This time around, of course, we are most privileged to have His Excellency the President and his high-powered ministerial delegation with us. Mr. President, in your State of Nation address to Parliament in February 2017, you so eloquently outlined the vision and policy direction of your government. You spoke of a vision that promises a robust economy that affirms the important role of the private sector, jobs, and wealth creation. This vision has been translated into policies, strategies, and actions that government is currently pursuing, and we have already begun to witness very clear signs that government is on course in its development agenda. You have also announced your long-term plans and government priorities to reform economic governance, address corruption, eliminate bottlenecks, and improve the business environment with a clear focus on agriculture and industry. There are many Ghanaians and friends of Ghana here in this hall who are not only keenly following developments back home, but have on different occasions made it known to us at the mission that they wish to join in these efforts and contribute their quota. The most recent encounter was held on 25th April this year during the visit to New York of Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. Many have welcomed government's goal of making Ghana the most business-friendly and people-centered economy in Africa, and translating that into job creation and prosperity for all Ghanaians. Indeed, these issues have been at the core of our engagement with the Ghanaian community since I was given the privilege of serving here in New York. The numbers of people in this hall, and I believe in an adjoining hall, demonstrates the great interest in our nation's development, and it is my hope that our interaction this evening will give us all a better appreciation of the policies going forward and what role the Ghanaian diaspora can play in these efforts. I am confident that we will leave this hall inspired and with a positive spirit, right attitudes and right actions. I believe we can make a difference and work together towards the goal of making Ghana, our beloved nation, great and strong. I wish us all a most rewarding and fruitful interaction And allow me to welcome you once again, Mr. President. Thank you for this opportunity.
And indeed, we are live from the United States of America.
As you know, we're about to hear from His Excellency. He's going to have some
New York University.
And in the spirit of a town hall, there'll be questions right after that. As you know, those of us who are in the academic world, the number one issue of our generation, of course, is our economic development. How do we get our country, Ghana, our continent, Africa, right up there with all the other nations in the world? And so that's what all of us are focused on. And I know that that's a main consideration of His Excellency. And before I call him up here, you know, I'm an economics professor, and I just can't resist saying he also has an economics degree from the University of Ghana. I don't think he mentions that. So His Excellency, in your honor, I'm wearing my Legon tie, okay? All right, so thank you. So on that note, I'm going to ask His Excellency to either come up or to use the mic there, whichever he prefers.
Senior Vice Provost of the New York University, Professor Yao Nyako, and members of the faculty of the university, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Deputy Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Ambassador and Permanent Rep of Ghana to the United Nations, Secretary to the President, Deputy Chief of Staff. We have the representatives of the various Ghanaian associations here, the Chamber of Commerce, the National Council of Ghanaian Associations, the Association of Ghanaian Lawyers, the Association of Ghanaian Engineers and Architects of America, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I have first of all to thank the University of New York University for the opportunity of gathering so many Ghanaians here to come and listen to me. I'm very grateful, Senior Vice Provost, for the opportunity. But before I go on, I want you to join me in one small solemn act. Today in Accra, we went through a very sad ceremony. The young soldier who was brutally murdered in Ghana last week. Today was the state burial that was given in his honor. I would be grateful if all of you would join me in standing for 1 minute silence in his memory. This is to the memory of Major Mahama. May his soul and the souls of all the faithful departed rest and abide in the bosom of the Lord until the last day of the resurrection, when we shall all meet again. Amen. Amen. I noticed from the program that I've been billed for a keynote address. Well, I think we're going to engage ourselves in a conversation, social about a keynote address. But first of all, let me thank all of you very much for responding to this invitation that I was coming. I came here the day before yesterday, on Wednesday, to come and attend the Oceans Conference, the first of its kind, being organized by the United Nations, about the measures that all of us have to take to conserve our marine resources and marine environment. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has honored me and honored the Ghanaian people by appointing me as co-chair of the group of eminent personalities who he has selected to be advocates for the implementation of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that the United Nations agreed to in 2015. It is a double honor because my predecessor as president, John Mahama, was co-chair, and after he lost the election, the Secretary General found it fit to ask me. It's a big honor to Ghana that Ghanaian leaders are so honored by the international community and by the Secretary General. We're grateful to him. So that's what brought me to New York. But like everywhere I go in the world, whenever the official transactions are over, as much as possible, I like to meet compatriots and find out what's going on with you, and hearing a little bit from me about what's going on at home. And that is exactly what the pattern that we're going to follow tonight. As you know, we've been in office now for 5 months. 7th of January was when I took the oath. And the government really has been properly situated for about now 3 months. We have the merit of having established the fastest government in the history of the Fourth Republic. It's not a mean achievement, even if I say so myself, because we have quite cumbersome procedures for establishing government in Ghana. But with the cooperation of the Parliament, we've been able to do it, and the government is now fully seated. Apart from the delivering the message on the state of the nation, which took place in February, the most important governmental action so far has been the budget that was passed by the government at the end of March. It has earned the name, the title, the Asempa budget. So, Asempa, for those who are not learned in Akan, means good news. So it's a good news budget, and we passed in Akan. The important aspect of the budget was threefold. First of all, it was to signal to the Ghanaian people the path that we wanted to take to fulfill the various commitments that we made in the electoral consultation. Because for me, that is the most important commitment that I have. That those pledges and promises that we made to the people of Ghana, that persuaded them to give us the opportunity of office, we have a sacred duty to make sure that those pledges are fulfilled and implemented. So the budget is the first indication of that. And what did it do? First of all, to signal to the world the deep commitment we have for a private sector-led development of our country. We've had a great deal of talk in the past about the private sector being the engine of growth, etc. But the concrete measures that had needed to be taken to put us on that path, in my view, we have not seen it. But we have determined on it. The first was to take off the back of the private sector a whole raft of burdensome taxes that have been imposed in the last few years because of government's insatiable appetite for revenue. Our view was that to the extent that we could stimulate the Ghanaian private sector to produce to act and produce, the more likely we were to be able not only to develop our economy, but to create jobs and then enhance the living standards of our people. So over 1 billion cedis worth of tax cuts were brought in. I'm very lucky. I have a very brilliant finance minister who's a wizard banker, investment banker, and even against a very difficult background, was able to create a very, very, very optimistic view of how we could tackle the problems of our country. So the tax cuts were the first. The second was to provide an important stimulus package for Ghanaian industries, distressed companies and industries. $100 million worth of money has been earmarked to stimulate local enterprises that are falling into difficulties because of the very difficult economic environment that we had inherited. And then again, because it has played such a crucial role in our economy, was also to find the means to begin the redevelopment of our agriculture. We've initiated a program we call Planting for Food and Jobs, which is designed to enhance the productivity of Ghanaian agriculture. Ghanaian agriculture in the last few years has been on a downward spiral, like other sectors of our economy. And we got to a situation whereby we're having to import basic things that traditionally we were producing in Ghana from our neighbors. We're importing plantain from the Côte d'Ivoire, tomatoes from Burkina Faso. We're not capable of growing plantain in Ghana. We are capable of doing it. And we're capable also of growing our own tomatoes. But we find ourselves now having to import because of the state of our agriculture. So the program, Planting for Food and Jobs, identified 200,000 farmers in Ghana to whom we were going to give, if you like, preferential treatment as a pilot program to see how it will work. And it is in 3 parts. First of all, to furnish them with improved seedlings for various things, maize, yam, cassava, soya, and sorghum, which were the preferred group of products that we were concentrating on. At the same time, reduce the cost to them of the critical ingredient of fertilizer. We slashed the price of fertilizer to our farmers by some 50%. And then, for me, the most critical aspect, for the last 5 years, until the budget of March this year, not a single graduate of the colleges of agriculture in our country have been employed in the public sector. Not one. So you have some 3,000 to 4,000 young men and women with the skills and the knowledge to help our farmers. For those who have not been able to get employment in the private sector, sitting at home, twiddling their thumbs, wasting away, and our agriculture also in decline. So we have begun the employment of these young men and women as extension officers. This year's budget provided for the employment of 1,200 of them to be able to assist with the commitment that every year from now on we will be employing at least 1,500 to 2,000. Not only do we wipe out the deficit, but then those who are coming into the market will also find employment in the public sector. They are such a key element in any successful agricultural policy in Ghana, the extension officers who can then help our farmers adopt better, more efficient, more modern methods of producing food and cash crops. So that was launched in Goso in April. The deployment is taking place. It has taken place to meet the rainy season in the south and is now being deployed in the north because, as you know very well, the rainy season in the north is always like a month, 6 weeks later than it is in the south. But the general deployment is taking place, and all the reports that we're getting is that the inputs are reaching the target, that is the farmers themselves, are not being diverted on the way for all the reasons that we have known in our country, which are unfortunate. That aspect of the management of our public finances is a matter of great concern to me. If we accept that our country is not a poor country and that we have the resources properly managed, by properly managed I mean also honestly managed, with the correct policies, we should be capable of financing our own our own development, so that the era of dependence on others for aid, for charity, for handouts, we can put that behind us and move down the I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth or to be anything other than gracious to those who have helped us. But frankly, I do not think that that is the path on which the Ghanaian nation should be committed, that we will be dependent on others to be able to finance our budget, on others to be able to set our priorities for us. We have to finance our budgets ourselves, and we have to set our own priorities for ourselves. So you will be hearing a great deal in all my speeches about the Ghana that I am seeking, with your support, active support, to build. That is a Ghana beyond aid, a Ghana which will free itself from a mindset of dependence, of charity, of aids and handouts. The Ghana that is going to mobilize its own resources to develop and confront its own problems. We're capable of it. We have the means to do it. So, there are, as a consequence, some decisions that we have taken that hopefully will be operational very soon. The matter of corruption in our society, in our public life, cannot be ignored by any of us if indeed we want to see a more prosperous future for our country. Unfortunately, an atmosphere has developed whereby prosecutions for acts of corruption, when they are undertaken by the Attorney General, because the Attorney General is a member of a government, is a minister of state, it leads automatically to the cry of witch hunt. So the decision has been taken, that it has been done elsewhere, that would establish an office of special prosecutor, independent of the executive, who will be chosen in a transparent manner, who will be a creature protected by statute and independent of the executive, and who will make the decisions about investigating as well as prosecuting offenses of corruption. This meeting of Parliament that has just started will have the law, will have the law before them before they rise, so that hopefully by the middle of July, the law on the Office of Special Prosecutor will be in place, and then the various measures that have to be taken to bring the law into being will be, the office into being will be undertaken. It's an important piece of legislation for us, just as all the various measures that have been put in place to establish accountability within the executive has also been done. For the first time, again, in the history of the Fourth Republic, all ministers of my government, including myself, have declared their assets and filed their assets with the Auditor General. We're going to... We are, in the course of this Parliament, also going to ask the Parliament on a free vote to look at the whole assets declaration regime, to see whether or not there is support for the idea of an open declaration of assets, not only the filing, but that they should be public. There's the argument about this matter is not as straightforward as it should be. There are those who say that our traditional methods of inheritance, nephews, etc., waiting for uncles to pop off, may not lend itself to an open declaration of assets, because it may hasten the attitude of nephews towards their uncles and the rest of it. So I think that it is a matter which, when it comes before the Parliament, will be dealt with not on the basis of whips, but on the basis of the individual conscience of the 275 members of Parliament. And we will leave it to them to see whether the time is right for us to move from just filing confidentially assets declaration, but making them public. Other measures are being taken. Public procurement law in Ghana has been woefully abused in these last few years. That the teachings of the public procurement law, essentially about the need for competitive bidding for public transactions, have been more or less put aside for a system of sole sourcing of contracts. But sole sourcing, as all of us know, that is the obvious avenue for widespread corruption. And so it proved to be. We are putting that era of sole sourcing of contracts behind us and insisting on competitive bidding. I have appointed a minister in the office of the President whose duty it will be to oversee, not administer the law on public procurement. We don't want politicians administering that law, and the Ghanaian legal system for that provides for an independent body of people. But I want somebody in my office who will be looking at the processes across the length and breadth of the country and satisfy us that indeed the teachings of the public procurement law are being met and fulfilled. So these are some of the measures. There are measures also in the Financial Administration Act which are being implemented to make sure that the leakages that we have in our public finances are brought to an end. I can give you just one small example. At the ports of Ghana, the Tema port, the law enforcement agencies have recently exposed a syndicate of 19 customs officials working with the representative of 3 freight forwarding companies who over the course of the year, just between them, are responsible. Allegedly, they have not been tried and convicted. So I am not saying that they are there, but this is the allegation that has been made, that of 1.2 billion cedis worth of revenue has been diverted by this group of people in this period. Well, if you can multiply that by the numbers who are involved in the clearance of goods and in the imposition of duties at our ports, you can understand what I'm saying, that if indeed we can mobilize our resources and deal with them honestly, we have the resources to finance all the key measures of our development of ourselves. And I am determined that in my period, the 4 years that I've been given so generously by the Ghanaian people, that concrete measures will be put in place to set us in that direction. The measures doing with the stimulating of the economy, of trying to come to the control over our public finances, have also gone in hand with important social action that we've had to take. As you're all aware, for the last so many years, these constant effort that I have made the presidency of Ghana, I've promised the Ghanaian people that broadening access to education for our people is probably the single most important decision that we need to take and implement. You have a situation whereby there has been so much seepage in our educational system. The numbers that come through from the junior secondary school system to the senior high school system who fall out, not necessarily because of lack of ability, but lack of money, where poor parents do not have the opportunity to be able to keep their wards in school. It is a major loss to the development of our country. That is why I've made the commitment that were we to come into office, senior high school education, like junior high school education in Ghana, will become free for the individual students. Making these commitments, I was always being accused of playing politics with education. And I kept saying to my opponents, it is not a political gimmick. It is a tool for the development of our country. And that is why I want us to be able to do it. Fortunately, those who are charged with managing our finances have said that from September, from the new academic year, the beginning of the academic year 2017-2018, all those who pass their BCE and find themselves in senior high school will go there free of charge. We'll be going there free of charge. So that will begin in September, and it will then become a feature of our educational system. At the same time, we're making strenuous efforts to improve radically the quality also of the instruction, that it's not just enough that people go to school, but that they should get there and be taught properly. There's going to be a major mobilization for us to get the teachers that can help, and that also will have the sufficient quality to be able to bring our educational system up. Our country has been famous amongst the countries of Africa for having been a pioneer in the quality of education it provided our people right from primary up to university. Ghanaian schools are famous across the length and breadth of Africa and across the world as well. And yet in recent times, the quality of people emerging from our secondary and other schools have not been as we would want. We have to change those facts. So that is the exercise on which we're engaged as well. And then on the other half of the social system of our country is our health system. It is probably the greatest legacy that John Agyekum Kufuor, our standing Ghanaian leader, left us in his 8 years of high quality government, the National Health Insurance Scheme. It came to replace a system of cash and carry, which was proving to be extremely inequitable in its incidence, because it meant that poor people were finding it extremely difficult to get access to decent health care in Ghana. We replaced it with an insurance system that meant that paying very, very small amounts of premium to get a card, when you got into trouble, you would be able to have access to reasonable health care in the public health system. The National Health Insurance Scheme was being bogged down, has become bogged down in debt, enormous debt. And it has meant that in the last couple of years, provider after provider of health service was withdrawing credit that they were giving to government and insisting on cash before delivery. So through the back door, because of the financial difficulties that the National Health Insurance Scheme was getting into, we were getting back to a situation of cash and carry. I believe that the insurance system is absolutely critical for the welfare of our country, and therefore believe that we needed to find a solution to the financial crisis in which the NHIS has become bogged in. We did so, we have done so, making some choices that some people found very strange. I was asked why I had chosen an accountant and an economist to be Minister of Health and not a doctor or somebody with a scientific background. My answer was very simple. The problem of our national health insurance scheme was the difficulties, the deficit, the financial deficit that the scheme had fallen into. It was very, very important for the survival of the scheme that we should find somebody who would have the capacity, the ability to dream up and think of innovative methods of putting the scheme on a sound financial footing. So I brought one of the outstanding economists in the public life of our country, Kwaku Menu, to come and head the Ministry of Health. And already that decision is paying rich. He is committed to settling the arrears of the NHIS system by the end of this year, and then putting a more robust financial provisions in place to sustain the national health system going forward. So this is giving you a flavor of what's in these first 5 months we've been doing. We are relaunching the national identification system so that by the end of this year, everybody resident in Ghana is going to get a card establishing their identity, who they are, what they do, etc. For the purposes of planning, for the purposes of information, we're going to long last to have an NID system in Ghana that is universal. Everybody will come to you here when we have finished the people in Ghana. But above all, there's one important action my government has taken, which is of the greatest of concern to me. Our country has considerable mining, mineral wealth, and mineral deposits. Indeed, the first town, modern town, that was built on the coast of Ghana was built by the Portuguese in the 15th century. It's called Elmina, the mine in Portuguese. Tells you that Ghana historically, and also the country became known as what? The Gold Coast before independence. Then mineral wealth is an extremely important part of the patrimony and the heritage of our country. So mining and exploiting these mineral wealth and resources is very much part and parcel of the economic structures and activities of our country, and so they should be. But what we cannot afford is to have the kind of mining that is also compromising our environment. That is so that now people with superior machinery are mining in the riverbeds of our country and drying up and polluting the rivers of Ghana. That cannot happen and continue in our country. So we began a nationwide campaign to bring the phenomenon of illegal small-scale mining, which we know as galamsey. We're going to bring it to an end in Ghana. And I want to repeat, we're not doing it because we're against mining. No, we can't be against mining in Ghana. The wealth of a large part of the wealth of our country is in our mineral resources. We have to bring it up. We have to exploit it. The welfare of our people. But what we're not going to allow are people to compromise the future of our country, devastate our countryside, dry up our river bodies, pollute our atmosphere by illegal small-scale mining methods. We're not going to allow that. And those engaged in that activity, there's going to be a structured effort to find alternative livelihoods for them so that it doesn't become a question of throwing people out onto the heap and then forgetting about them. Some of them are going to be engaged in filling up the holes again. Some of them are going to be engaged in cleaning up the countryside. But it is an extremely important initiative we have taken, and we need the support of all Ghanaians. It's not going to be easy because there are vested interests, powerful forces that obviously are sustaining this industry, this galamsey industry. There's a lot of money at stake, and whenever there's a lot of money at stake, there can be a lot of very ruthless and powerful people exploiting the opportunities. But be that as it may, we are also going to make sure that we secure the future of our country, that we're going to secure the welfare of our people going down the road. So, I can go on.
Yes,
We should have an opportunity also for you to let me know what some of your preoccupations are. But just a couple of things that I'd like to say before I sit down, because I know that is the ROPAL. The law was passed in President Kufuor's time. I was a member of the government that passed the law that made it possible for Ghanaians living outside the shores of Ghana to be able to contribute to the democratic consultations that our people go to and vote. So the law has been there for the last 8 or 9 years. But after it was passed, the Electoral Commission, at the time headed by Dr. Kojo Afaraja, indicated that it was not in a position to implement the law. And as you know, quite properly, the Constitution of our country has conferred on the Electoral Commission exclusive authority to deal with all election-related matters. Quite properly, a president or a minister or a political person cannot have any direct influence on how the electoral system of our country is conducted. I have no problem with that arrangement, and it's quite proper that it should be so. But it does mean, therefore, that the decision whether or not this law will be implemented is in the charge of the Electoral Commission. Dr. Afarajan's successor, the young woman who's there now, Charlotte Osei, has indicated once that she too felt she wasn't ready. I told her, I said, I cannot for the life of me think how Senegalese and Malians and Guineans and Togolese and others can vote in their elections and Ghanaians cannot. I cannot understand it. But then, as I say, this is not a situation where I can say, oh, I'm the president, so I'm ordering you. I don't have the power to do so. But what we have is the power of advocacy. You, me, all of us, raise our voice on this matter. Let those who are in charge of our the management of our electoral system know that it is an important matter for all of us, and we think that the time has come for them to be able to find a solution as to how Ghanaians outside Ghana can vote in elections. It would be wonderful if the arrangements can be made so the 2020 election would enable Ghanaians overseas to be able also to vote. The second, in the course of the campaign and when I came here and inside in Ghana also, I made a commitment that if I won the presidential election, I was going to establish an Office of Diaspora and Affairs at the presidency, so that we would have a department of the presidency who will be charged with dealing with the matters that affect you overseas. Those of you who are coming back, port matters, access to information about what's available to be done, the whole transitional arrangements that you have to go through if you're coming back from here to come in. Well, that promise is being fulfilled. There is an Office of Diaspora and Affairs at the presidency as we speak now. It has been there for the last 2 months. It is headed by an overseas Ghanaian, Akwesi Babio, who's been living in London. He's there now. He's being assisted by Nadia, who's a young lady who's been living in Canada, so that the North American influence is also there in the office. And they have begun to set up the diaspora office to handle the various matters that concern you. The main preoccupation at the moment is organizing the homecoming summit that they intend to hold in the first week of July, in which hopefully as many of you as possible are going to participate and come, and then we can then begin to map out a way in which the skills and the expertise and the capital and the that you have here can be mobilized for the development of our country, and that together we can find a way to develop Ghana together. So let me bring my keynote address to an end at this stage, and give the opportunity for us to have 1 or 2 question and answer sessions. But before I sit down, I should introduce to you the team that I'm here with. In the white, there are 2 in white. One is all white, and there's one in half white. The half white is a member of parliament for Anya Sowutum in Accra, in the Greater Accra region, in her 4th term in parliament. So you can see this is a formidable politician. She was my deputy when I was foreign minister, and I've gone up, so she's also gone up. So she's now the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Shirley Ayoko Butri. The one all white is our, formerly the National Women's Organizer of the New Patriotic Party. She's now the Minister for Gender, Social Protection, Children and Social Protection. That is Otiko Afisa Jaba. You've heard of her, controversial lady. And then close to me here, right next to me, is the Deputy Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, formerly Mayor of Kumasi, the first female mayor of Kumasi, Patricia Akpedjo. I have been appointed by Alpha Conde, the chairperson of the AU, as the AU lead figure on gender and development. I think you have to applaud for me. I'm doing well in that. The elegant young man in the suit in the middle is the President's secretary. The secretary to the President is a very well-known lawyer in Ghana, a very successful lawyer, and is now doing some national service. And these fat fees as successful lawyers are for the next 4 years in abeyance. He's now on the public payroll. Nana Bediachu Asante. And then on the other side of Otiko Afisa Jaba is the those of you who know about the politics of our universities at home. The MPP University tertiary university schools organization is known as TESCON. The founding father, the founding president, the moving spirit in the TESCON idea was my political assistant, is the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Presidency, Francis Asenso-Boakye. Behind is a very experienced, well-known Ghanaian diplomat, a former ambassador to Japan and others, who's the Director of State Protocol, Mr. Ambassador Ahmed Hassan. And the young lady here is a Foreign Service officer, who's the Director of the Foreign Minister's Office, Sena Sian-Boateng. So, thank you so much, and I wait to hear from you.
So, Your Excellency, thank you very much for that wonderful talk, wonderful speech. There's a saying that when it comes to African nations, when you look at the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, most of the media here, if you're not hearing about an African country, chances are that country is doing very, very well. And I haven't been hearing about Ghana in those media for quite a while. And if you just listen to His Excellency's speech, it's not the stereotypical African story you see. This is a different Africa. This is Africa's Renaissance. Things are moving. Things are different. Just imagine the kinds of questions we're asking here. In the past, it used to be about either a disease or war or conflict. Now it's gender. And we thank His Excellency for his work on gender and economic development. So thank you. There are a large number of people here who would like to ask questions. There are a large number of people in the audience. As I look around, I see our State Senator Ruth Hassel Thompson. Please.
Omampani akasa ewie ewo America Brichimamu na weye nhyiamu kase a wane Ghana de share wo hwahia enti ombebisa questions kakra bi na after questions no yede bibia aba ewie once again yebeda Diaspora TV for ase wo madaroma ena wo mama in this live feeder yede ma yahwefo na wo mo atimi ahwe bi ewo ha enti question and answer segment no so ena yedru sabre ya
so we have to be very, very quick. I know that there's some organizations who want to say something very quickly. So please come up, Dr. Kofi Boateng, on behalf of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce. A quick question. And is Kofi Boateng here? All right, please come up very, very quickly. The representative of National Council of Ghanaian Association for Ghanaian Lawyers, and the Ghanaian Engineers and Architects of America. Warning, please make it a very quick statement. Question, you are not allowed to speak after the president. It's against protocols. So the audience, if you see them giving a speech, okay, just tell them, make it a question, okay? Help me out here so we can move along. All right, Kofi, where are you? Quick statement, go for it.
His Excellency, Mr. President, Nana Addo Dankwa Ekufuado. You know, I've been waiting a whole 9 years to say this. So we have heard you loud and clear, your call for Ghanaians to take up private enterprise and also be engaged in the development of our country no matter where we live. And in that sense, over the last month, with a lot of help from our Consul General, Honorable Kwanson, and the Ambassador, Martha, Her Excellency, we have formed a Ghana Chamber of Commerce USA. And it is Ghana focused. So that means anybody who is intentional about establishing business in Ghana, come join us, so that we relieve the burden of everybody rushing to Ghana to see the president, the minister, and all that, and coming back to complain. We expect to be able to vet people who are interested in investing in Ghana, because we are here with them, because we know the story. We know who is for real and who isn't, before we bring them to Ghana. So this is a serious thing that we put together. It was conceived originally by a person that most of you know as Mr. CNN. Okay, and I came along to put flesh and body to it. And on that note, some of our members have some presents for you. No, it's not a question. We just want to do this real fast. Real fast. First, it's not real quick, we'll be out of your way. So Mr. Kwabs is a fashion designer and a member of the chamber, and he has some presents for you. So come on up, real quick. One. And then following, come, Katie away last. Yeah, one at a time. One at a time. Yeah, real quick. Yes, Mr. President can take them and then divide. Okay, let's do this a picture. Kofi. And then these are for you. And then we have a young man who has made creams. And then to top it all off, we have a Ghanaian who has, we have a Ghanaian who has designed and manufactured cell phones. Katie, pull one out. Okay. And he has one for the president, one for the first lady, and all the ministers and the chief of staff. So with that, we congratulate you one more time, and we welcome all of you who want to do business in Ghana to join us. Thank you all.
All right, where is the National Council of Ghanaian Associations?
Okay, and then Ghana for no mampanin kasa wiye na wo mo watch de ebi amano. Ghana ni a ono ankasa ye mobile phone. Ono nso de bi ama o mampanin na so afo. And into question segment na yedu so nche na yedni nyina aba wiye.
Go.
Welcome to New York, Your Excellency, and your on-term. It is good to see you again in New York. I was in Accra, and I came to Chibi also to witness everything that went on. So I stand as a very proud Ghanaian for everything that went on. As president of the Association of Ghanaian Lawyers, I think our interest would have been the question on the special prosecutor, which I'm sure you adequately answered already. But I just wanted to sort of just ask you very briefly. I think everybody thinks that the prosecutor has to be an independent, truly independent person, devoid of any influence of your presidency and the party. And I know that names have been thrown out, but if you could speak for a brief moment about how independent they're going to be. We're speaking from New York, we know the context of Africa. But I believe in your legal knowledge. I know that at one time we called you the law. And so you do understand how democracy works. So if you'd speak for a moment about that. Thank you. Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Who's next, engineers? Yeah. All right, please, very quick.
Oh, I see.
Less than a minute.
Hello, Mr. President. Congratulations on your win in your superb victory. We're so proud of you. My name is George Corley, and I'm the president of the Ghanaian Engineers and Architects Association of America. So being an engineer, it's obvious my question is going to be related to infrastructure development. Even this coming July, we have invited your Honorable Minister Kwesi Amwakwata to be our guest speaker at our annual event right here in New York. And our theme is the role of the Ghanaian engineers here in the infrastructure development and economic development of Ghana. And that's what we are going to be debating on and talking about. My question to you is this. Do you have, or your administration have, an infrastructure development master plan for the country where it is structured in a way that no subsequent administrations will have the ability or the authority to change that master plan, so that the development program will be sustainable and continue regardless of who is the president or what administration is in place at that time?
Sorry, I'm used to that now. His Excellency, on behalf of National Council of Ghanaian Associations, we welcome you to New York. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy New York.
That's the way I like those questions.
Yes. The Office of Special Prosecutor. How independent is the Special Prosecutor? First of all, the office is going to be established by an Act of Parliament. And the tenure of the occupant is going to be guaranteed by the provisions. We've seen it in other areas of our governance system where people, like the Electoral Commission, is there operating on the same basis of judges of the Superior Court. They can only be removed with cause. They have security of tenure. Their emoluments are charged directly on the consolidated fund. It is the same way in which the Office of Special Prosecutor is going to work. It's also going to be approved by the Parliament, but approved by the Parliament by a majority in the Parliament that will make it a bipartisan exercise. It will not be just the creature of the ruling party. The person that is going to be appointed must get a certain statutory majority in the House. The bill is in the process of being created now, and we'll know exactly whether it's a 2/3 or whether it is an absolute majority of all the members of the House. I suspect it will be the latter. But the process of appointment itself will establish the independence of the occupant of the office. So these are the measures that are being taken to make sure that we get a prosecutor who's truly an independent creature. The master plan, there's a tension in that always, because we are elected for 4 years and people are elected on a program. I think that what we have to do, and we are in the process of doing it, the 4-year plan of our government is going to be unveiled in July, and it will set out specifically the parameters for infrastructural development in our time. To be able to have a master plan that is everybody has to buy into, I'm not so sure that is going to be possible, because at the end of the day, every 4 years, the Ghanaian people decide who should govern them and with what program they should be governed. That program must find expression in the manner in which the development of the country takes place. So, as I say, I understand the concept, but there is a natural tension between that and the principles of democratic accountability. And therefore, I think that what we have to accept is that every government will come with this program. But if the program that you're putting in place is one that carries a certain clarity and lucidity, it is being done and there's value for money in it, it's going to be very difficult for successive governments to come and deviate from what you have initiated, even if you don't complete it. Well, the difficulties we've had in the past, up till now, is that the premises for certain types of infrastructural development have not been clear. When you go into it in depth, you'll find that it is clouded in corrupt procurement, corrupt conclusion of contracts, and therefore it becomes difficult to say that you accept that this should be the way forward. So there are so many issues involved in being able to define clearly how we go forward. But my own belief is that if a government comes and puts a program on the ground which is clearly justifiable in terms of the country's needs, the amounts of money that are being committed to it are also transparent and clearly justifiable. It can be established that it is truly value for money which is at stake. I think that the development along those bases becomes the secure way that we make sure that we get what we want in terms of the development of our infrastructure. Thank you.
We have time for exactly one more question. One question. Please ask your question.
Mr. President.
A very short question.
Mr. President, my name is Michael Gao, Sergeant Retired. I'm talking about pension payments. I want to hear from you what's going about with our pension payments. And number two,
all right. And then na yede nina ebewe. The last question I did and the fire from the beginning. Na orches Ghana Airways in our year Juma. Na womu ye na womu sike biakem. Ekoba na se yegu no. And then that is it. But all share comments modiaba majority no ekasa efa duties ewo port.
Ghana
or share na kese bebre na yidi ne se the duties in the tieno ano eden ema womo. Once again yebeda that TV for us say womo eboa my in this feed ma yetumi ede Sun Life telecast free America every April. Was tell him to reduce duties on cars because we are going to bring cars. Joe Bastic and what they buy and Vincent Jerry Asante where the taxes are reduced by the budget. The budget the budget again hammered on the reduction of taxes on local flights and many more. Joe, yeah, what's actually baby? You say car duties, and I can say, my can Vincent Jerry Asare, what's a Kofi show? You're always doing your best. America, born on Kono Kokra, New York. Oh, okay, yeah, Chiamo. What's it? No, I thought you were saying something wrong about the phones that he grabbed. Okay, also answer that. Also answer phones now, man, Peninji and idiot. Second and year or honor and or presented the man or with the camera and Prince Kakra and or they and also a can home. And into more comments and a day be abapa and Mwaka and Wadiasa Ghana Bodonko. Yeah, Donko abo. Kwabinachre Kumsen. When I was joining oh share this live broadcast. Comments and also the mekano yednina ebesiha na yadamwa se munya bre na moshe. Daniel Eni Obri was a good. Was a Kofi, I'm calling from New York. Let Nana know that we love him. Thomas Esiedu. Was a Kofi, you need sleep now. Waboy Juma, Medas, Mamma Magman. And Aminu Gibson was a God bless you, watching from Hamburg. And Vincent Jerry Asara was a wow. Ghana made mobile phone. God bless him. Yeah, Ghana made mobile phone. And Anisaki was a I bought a car for $500 and paid $3,500 for duty. Does it make sense? It's 10-year-old car. Government must do something. Okay. Nana Kwame Obo and some and honorable guest and say Evans also say well done. Nana Abinai Chan was a Kofi read this last. God bless our homeland, Ghana and other buyer. You made an idea one more area Nessa and Nana the Danko Kufodo best Nana the Danko Kufuado. Ever sorry, I just say program no abaye. What's I can see you are feeling sleepy. Frimpong came answer. Frimpong, sleeping in there, you but when it comes to the job, we still have to serve you. Watching live from Ireland and Ayao Sapon at the Eba. I want to know if Ekuyadon call Najimo Daho Thomas Esiedu. Thomas, and you know me discuss Derek Addo was watching live from London. God bless you, Kofi. Jude, is it? Okay, I say good job, Kofi. And Vincent Asare was I can't wait to meet such a wonderful and God-sent journalist like you. Kofi, God bless you. God bless you too. Was we are done? Hey, Kwaku Sapon. Ajoja, we and there beginning over your reporter or a Georgia interviewer one more year. I think Ghanaians no any edge Nanado and somebody to John when I learned about it's a good job. I lead in Tiam was a world and Kofi TV and God bless you more Kofi Joshua Anna Bana. Good night. Nana Abner Cham here when you come. Good job, Kofi and Efia Boajede Bay and Nana Kwame say thank you, Nana. May God be with you. Tabri say good job, Kofi Aduma and Joyce Abuajo. Say Kofi, how are you? I'm fine. We love you, Kofi. My name, no, Efri Escobar Honor de Baina. Philip Akosa say watching live from London. Akosa, God bless you. KTA Mobile. Okay, St. John. Mobile. What's that then? KTA Mobile. Okay, any idea here? Anyway, I say KTA Mobile. And I hear the man on them. And then this one, Nana said I'm a kind of where we are, Nessa. The show has come to an end. Was a Kofi Paris? Hey, Kofi Tano, any idea? I say, oh, I missed it. Georgina, so Georgina, don't worry. You can get it back on YouTube, Kofi TV, and then over to me, so I sign. I heard playback just on Facebook while to me I say enya ohona washe and I said the phone he gave to Nana oh okay and a KTA Mobile. Oh, that's nice. Ghana ni NYSR phone you don't say St. John. But in brief, Nana HMO the entire we menu, and that I think is news. We no as health minister, some of us are in him honorable no name say we are count inclined to take him to the health ministry no na but then another actually say na eka Iowa health ministry honoma indirectly there was cash and carry and then you know here accountant obey to me atoto sa na mani nyina eye other issues APM as the days go by no ebedi ho enkomo Kofi just 1 a.m. and you are dying. You see how it is suffer. Oh, we suffer for here. Okay, Kwajo Tabri. Kwajo, I know it's every chemobre. And I need Noel to say good job. Stephen Opokwajima was a Kofi. I'm proud of you from London. Please, how can we fight armed robbery? Hey, armed robbery. I'm afraid to come home. Stephen Bra. Why? Ekuya Nima was we love our president. God bless you, Kofi, watching from New Jersey. Honorable guest and Osa Evans. That is the name of the phone presented to the president. Okay, and Akweku Oredu Sapon. That is a Ghanaian man phone, KTA. It's on Amazon and it's $120. Okay, Akweku Oredu Sapon or the buy. To wait me ako Amazon or search it. KTA phone. Ghanaian why? NTN Tomman why? Frimpong came and so I said, Kofi, please let the Londoners know when Nana is coming to London. Why? To say the own Nana, I just said, yeah, and Chanoa, no man for a church, Chanoa. I brought about London, I drew her bomb was wanting. Augusta was sick of what time is it? Time, no, say, I was saying, Ghana, about one something, about 125, yeah. Keep it up, Kofi TV, good show. Prez do know the by. What is the meaning of KTA? Richard Caspi. I'm mobile me with the phone. Nipa. I judge about me KTA that just saying. And Nana Kwame. What's about Kofi? You have to get some rest. That is true. Tomorrow is Saturday. I'll rest. Why? Derek Adai. We say tomorrow. And now is Saturday. Yes, it's Saturday. How much? Ghanaian produced mobile phone. We have to patronize. Yeah, Derek, yes, we have to. Okay, KTA, St. John say, keeping technology affordable. Interesting. That's nice. St. John was keeping technology affordable. And to KTA, no. As a channel, again, and in YSR phone. And Vincent Jerry Asara was Kofi, I wish I could have your number. I need to be like you as a journalist. Inbox me and Kobo. Ability plus capacity was a Kofi. I'm also watching live from Germany. Good job. God bless you. And good Kofi. Haja Princess Oba Apa GH. And also the by Vincent Jerry Asare. Didn't you know, sir? Okay. Richard Caspi is good. And Jerry Icon was watching you from Barcelona. Kofi Tano was a Kofi TV best source to get your facts. That's Ebenezer. Could you say, Kofi, I'm watching live from New York. Richard Caspi, or say 1:25 a.m. The day is still young. No, 1:25 a.m. You think the day is still young? Well, Vincent Jerry Asare was say keeping technology affordable. Okay, KT, you know, phone on or sign there, no, I can't. Okay, yeah, that's it. And Obesima and Chihuahua was say, Kofi, get some rest. Why, Mate? Was it SKTA small a? Okay. Kofi Richard, which is which? Good work, Kofi. Watching. Okay. KTA mobile. I think there is KTA mobile. Yeah. America Ghana in KTA mobile production. Nana Sefa just said it. Just say KTA mobile. Technology worth sharing. But okay. And into that is it. Kofi, I want to meet you for a gift. Haj Barak Umar. Okay. Meet me. And into we are just doing a little search on KTA mobile. I think it's a slick phone, very nice phone. If Ghana in we should be proud. Yeah. How can we sleep when Kofi TV is blazing? Am I going Kwada? Also, Kofi, God bless you, Joyce, Alistair Usu, and William Don. Was a good work, bro. Kofi watching from Iceland. And also, I'm watching live from Kingdom of Bahrain. I love your TV, Kofi. Keep it up. May I say, Rosemary Nyameche was a Kofi. You are the best. God bless you. Was it no? It's not just KTA Mobile US. St. John. Really? KTA Mobile. Oh, well. Yeah, Precon Berima Felix. Because we are watching from New York City. Kofi Adoma, you are doing well, Medasi. Nana Abena Echa was watching from the city that never sleeps. Okay. Derek Rich was a Kofi. God bless you for the good job. And Enoko Usu Benedict was a good job watching you live. Okay. Hi, Barack Umar. I'll be in Ghana next week if God permits. I'm serious. Inbox me. Mate Haj. My inbox. Kofi Tano was watching live from Australia. Kofi, can you link me to my brother, Pastor SKPJ, whom I have lost contact? Stephen Opoko Ajimai. Don't worry, me don't number no man why. I'll inbox you his number so now wait me contact no. Joe Basic was when is Nana coming to Pennsylvania. We'll find out from the communication team and let you know. I'm going to search for KTA mobile phone to buy. Teresa Wells, yeah, Yento, because Ghana need there. Let me see if I can get KTA. Let me see, KTA mobile. Now, I think KTA mobile. Just trying to search it for you to see on your screen. Okay, and so if we can pick this KTA mobile. Okay. KTA mobile phone on send it here. A 4G wireless smartphone. Very nice phone. That's good. Watching live from Switzerland. Okay, the Apostle Ahmed. Okay, St. John was say, Kofi, can you go check first on wrapping it on Facebook? I say, Kofi, can you check the first on wrapping it on Facebook? No problem. I'll try and get one and do a review of it live. On Kofi TV. I'm just happy say Otimi showcase that phone no ewo and it's good. Yeah, and KTA mobile. And then okay, this one says Kofi, you are thirsty and sleepy. You see how you are buying plenty. I see Kofi, I've inboxed you of KTA mobile phones pics. Ebenezer, and when I'm there to screen this one, and then I think it's a nice phone and a baby different, and that is nice. That's very nice. If Ghana, yeah, it me quite that far. That's good. I say nice phone. Amazon is selling them. Okay. I say I can link you up, bro. St. John, St. Timothy, and okay. Yeah, that's it. Bernard Asante also here live. Nana is not coming to Pennsylvania. Okay, Lady Smart say Nana Maho and she more I'm want to tell Nana. It's a Obebaho. And so, Jedubesia. I will say, okay, Ebenezer Kodia. Yeah, I also send it. Pictures now sending and webinar maybe a screen so viewers KTA mobile. Why a lot of phones our America. That's nice. Not bad at all. I think tablets crack home. A lot of stuff Hawaii. Yeah, that's it. I say he will be in Ghana and hope you will grant him an interview. No problem at all. We are ready and proud to promote Yehobrebia and especially Ghana near whether that level no. Omra will definitely give him that platform. St. John, why? Ebenezer Kodia was it's a very nice phone. Okay. Frimpong came and so Kofi, I believe this is not the right platform for this. But I would like to speak to you about a guy called Jana. I think he's done me for really. I don't think. Then maybe a different person. But get in touch. Let me know. Maybe I will be in a DPWA. Kwejo was a Kofi. Let everyone also be aware that fiber optic technology is invented and developed by a Ghanaian. Yeah, that man, I mean, when I'm not trying to pen an interview on Kofi TV. I say I'll contact you. Okay. It has say, and please don't read this. Why? Can you give me also? What should I try there? Definitely, you know I'll read it. Thanks for watching. Yeah, that must say. Me need a Kofi Addo. Me name producer. Me na ya se fan na ya. Enti ono so tenchen ha. Ya kramo. E ma mwache.